Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Paula's Choice Hyaluronic Acid Booster, which is suitable for all skin types, and you can use it in the morning as well as evening daily. Now, hyaluronic acid helps to hydrate the skin. If you're experiencing also dullness, it gives back some radiance, and it can give you a plumping effect, which then helps to improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Now, those effects are only temporary while using the product. Hyaluronic acid should not be confused with exfoliating acids. Exfoliating acids like AHAs, glycolic, lactic or mandelic acid, or BHA, salicylic acid, help to loosen the dead skin cells on the skin surface. So they have a different function, and therefore you have to be sometimes a bit more careful with what you're using it, because then it can potentially lead to irritation. Whereas with hyaluronic acid, you can use it along with any other skincare products which you may have at home. It does not conflict, as it purely hydrates the skin. This serum also contains ceramides and panthenol, so it's very hydrating and soothing on the skin. It can be used on its own or along with other skincare products. Now, I want to share with you the entire application on my face so that you can see it visually. And while I'm doing the application, I want to share with you a morning as well as evening setup of a skincare routine as well, what you can include, as well as what you do not have to, depending on your overall skin type and needs. But then you see the order of application, as this won't change. And you can find everything in the description box down below by just clicking on the link. There you will find example routines, additional information about cleansing, when you should cleanse, about toners and exfoliating acids, sunscreens, moisturizer, etc. All the important information when working with different skincare products in your skincare routine, so that you have a better understanding of how you can adjust it accordingly to your needs. Now, I'm going to go over the cleansing step, then the application of the hyaluronic acid booster, and then the moisturizing step, since those are points that are important to emphasize. And so while I'm getting started with the cleansing step, in between you can, for example, add an hydrating and soothing toner as well, or even exfoliant and other treatments, but more on that when I'm getting into it, because the first step is really important as your cleansing step. In the morning, you can just work with your daily gentle cleanser or just wash your face with lukewarm water. Just make sure to properly rinse it off. In the evening, the cleansing step is more important to remove any excess oil, dirt, sweat from the skin, and even sunscreen and or makeup from the skin, to properly wash your face. So the first step that you're going to do is now take your cleanser, make sure it's suitable for your skin type and needs. One example would be the Ink's List Hyaluronic Acid Cleanser. It's great for all skin types. If you have a different one, it's fine to exchange it. Just make sure that you're going to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser. And a cleanser should not irritate your skin nor dries out your skin. You can wash your face above the sink or take the cleanser with you in the shower. Either way is fine. Just make sure to properly remove it from the skin. And you can rinse it off by just using your hands, or use in between a soft and fresh washcloth which you're going to wet. And this really can help you to remove any last traces of your cleanser, sunscreen and or makeup from the skin. So using a washcloth in between is really important to make sure that everything comes off, especially in your evening skincare routine if you have one, stubborn sunscreen as well as makeup. So with the Ink's List Hyaluronic Acid Cleanser, it is advised to apply it on wet skin. So the first step that I'm going to do is now wetting my face, neck and hands with lukewarm water to warm water. So let's go ahead and do this. Then use about 1 to 2 pumps, so about a coin-size amount on the palm of your hand. About that much, more or less. Rub your hands together and then gently massage it over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. Please make sure to not get it into your eyes, nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it with water. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So once you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step. There's no need to wait in between. Now the next step can already be the application of Paula's Choice Hyaluronic Acid Booster. Apply to the skin, leave it on the skin. However, if you do want to include some products in between, such as an hydrating and soothing toner, as you can see right here, or maybe other treatments for your specific skin concerns, then use them beforehand if they have a much thinner texture than Paula's Choice Hyaluronic Acid Booster. Apply to the skin, leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then this would be the order of application. As for an evening skincare routine, if you want to work with an exfoliant as well, well then it would look like this. You're going to start off with the application of your hydrating and soothing toner, then follow on to your exfoliant, and then your specific treatments for your skin concerns, and then apply to the skin, leave it on the skin. And so this would be then the setup of a morning as well as evening skincare routine, so that you can see how you can adjust it depending on what you're using. Now I do want to quickly emphasize one more important point, and this is about hyaluronic acid. I often hear that people say, well, you have to apply hyaluronic acid on damp skin. Well, actually, you have the benefits that when applying skincare products in general on damp skin, that they can penetrate much better into the skin. So the same would apply to your hydrating and soothing toner, to your exfoliant, and other treatments other than hyaluronic acid. They all have the benefits to penetrate better into the skin. But it does not change the efficacy of hyaluronic acid itself. Since hyaluronic acid has already absorbed as much water as it can within the formulation itself of your serum or cream or whatever you may be using when using a hyaluronic acid product, so it cannot absorb more water from the skin or from the environment. It has already done this even before you even apply it to the skin. And so therefore, the efficacy of hyaluronic acid does not change. So it does not matter if you're applying it on dry or on damp skin. The feeling may change, but the efficacy of hyaluronic acid itself does not change. And this also is now related to that you can use hyaluronic acid on its own. That's completely fine, as it cannot draw out the moisture from the skin nor from the environment, as it has already absorbed as much water as it can within the formulation. Therefore, if you have normal to oily skin and your skin barrier still functions very well, it is able to hold the moisture within the skin, you can use your hyaluronic acid booster on its own. That's completely fine. However, if you have a compromised skin barrier, or let's say dry skin, then this function does not work properly anymore, and you may have a lack of oil, and therefore it cannot seal it. And this is where using a moisturizer or an oil afterwards is important, so that your skin can basically hold on to the moisture, otherwise it will evaporate. And so therefore it is often confused that you have to apply hyaluronic acid on damp skin and that you have to seal it with a moisturizer, whereas this basically won't change hyaluronic acid itself. So I do want to put this out there so that you have a better understanding of how you can work with it. So once you have applied your treatments in between that you want to include, go ahead and do so. And then you're going to move on to Paula's Choice Hyaluronic Acid Booster. And so still, your skin remains damp, so it has already the ability to absorb better into the skin. And so it has a pump, so use between 1 to 2 pumps for your face and neck, and then evenly apply it all over your face and neck. Start with 1 pump, and if this shouldn't be enough, you can always add a bit more. But again, please make sure to just apply a thin and even layer all over, and do not overdo it with hyaluronic acid itself. So about that much, more or less. Rub your fingers together and then gently blend it all over your face and neck. So, and once you have applied your hyaluronic acid booster all over your face and neck, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And so now you just can leave it as it is if your skin barrier functions well enough to hold on the moisture on its own, or you can now follow on with a moisturizer afterwards. And during daytime, sun protection is important. Now, hyaluronic acid itself does not make the skin sensitive to the sun, but if you want to prevent any premature aging or deeper fine lines and wrinkles or overall sunburn and sun damaged skin, using sunscreen during daytime is important. And so this now brings me to a point which can cause problems but it doesn't have to happen. This depends on how much product you're going to use and the overall formulation of your moisturizer or even sunscreen. I guess it's more common with the sunscreen. And so when working with a hyaluronic acid serum in general, this is not only specific about Paula's Choice Hyaluronic Acid Booster, but in general, it can often lead to pilling. Now this can have something to do with the hyaluronic acid serum itself, but it also may depend on what hyaluronic acid molecules they are using, because if they're using like the pure hyaluronic acid, that one has the largest molecules, and then they can even break it down into smaller molecules. Now the larger molecules tend to sit more on the skin surface. This can give you the plumbing effect, whereas the smaller molecules can penetrate into the skin. So in that case, you can say, well, if a product contains like real hyaluronic acid, this may lead to more often to pilling. But on the other hand, you can say, well, if your skin has already enough of hydration and it cannot absorb more hydration like in the skin, then it's basically full, and everything that your skin cannot like work with is basically sitting on top of the skin surface. And so in this specific case, the molecules again really do not matter. It's basically what your skin needs and what it doesn't need, or how much it needs of it. And so if your skin cannot absorb it properly into the skin and too much sits on the skin surface, or you have used too much product that is still sitting on the skin surface, moving on to your moisturizing step or sunscreen step can lead to pilling. And then it looks like little white bits are kind of like rolling on the skin surface. And some people may confuse it that it looks like your skin is going to flake, but it's not the skin, it's basically the hyaluronic acid itself that you're going to rub off. And so this can have something to do with how much you're using and the hyaluronic acid formulation itself. But it also can have something to do with the moisturizer or sunscreen that you're using, that the formulations do not work well with one another. And this is where you may need to change your moisturizer or your sunscreen so that they basically can blend with one another so that the pilling does not occur. So those are points that can happen, which are very annoying. Therefore, I want to point it out, and you need to figure out if you are using too much of it, or if your skin even needs hyaluronic acid, or if it's the problem of your moisturizer and then sunscreen. Now I'm going to finish off with an evening skincare routine, so I'm going to use a moisturizer now on top of Paula's Choice Hyaluronic Acid Booster. One example would be Nio's Hydration Vaccine. It's great for all skin types, and it can help you so that your skin barrier is getting stronger, that it is able to work properly again. However, you can also find like richer moisturizers which have like fatty acids in it, or even like mineral oils or plant oils in it, that can help you to seal it from the outside so that you're not going to lose the moisture within the skin. Then basically just go ahead and use about a bean size amount of your moisturizer and then apply it evenly all over. Now keep in mind, you do not have to finish with the moisturizer, but you can. This depends on your skin needs. So use about that much, more or less, so that you can evenly blend it all over. Then use it on your fingertips, rub your fingers together, and then gently blend it all over your face as well as neck. So, and once you've applied your moisturizer all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then this can be the last step of your evening skincare routine, or during daytime. Don't forget to either replace it with a moisturizer that already contains SPF, or a regular sunscreen, which you then would use afterwards. Now, if you want to know more about sunscreen, how you can apply it, when you should apply it, when you should use it, like when it is necessary, when you can skip it, I have an infographic right here with all the tips and information that you need to know about sunscreen. But if you want to see it in your own time, again, you can find again everything in the description box down below. Or if you even want to see a video about the application of how you can use your sunscreen, I'm going to leave a video at the end of this video along with other skincare videos so that you can see the applications of the individual products that you may want to look into and include it in your skincare routine. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you. I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.